Action! Five, four, three, two, one. When we first started working on this project, a lot of us around here were referring to it as epic, or the epic piece, because a lot of the direction we were getting at the time from NGB was, we need this music video, and it needs to have over-the-top imagery and action and all this stuff. So we just all, we were referring to it as epic. Over time, as we started, getting imagery in and cutting things together, we were getting more direction from leadership, and that was that the piece was going to be called At This Moment. So that's what it's called now, is At This Moment. We kind of had a blueprint and a guideline for what we wanted the song to sound like. Big, huge opening, and then a small area in the song that kind of weaves us into storylines and then ends with a really big impact, and the orchestra all comes in and all the drums and sounds. We couldn't have an awesome music video without an awesome song to go with it, so for that we turned to a really awesome composer.
My name is Mike Brissell, and I am the composer of the epic piece. My father served in the armed forces. That was a great man. He was a professional fighter where he was in the ring with George Foreman. He lost that fight, but has left an enormous legacy that all the sons want to follow in his stead, of course, and we want to be able to honor him. So this was a nice little homage to him, and also to all the fighting men and women in the service. And Perry had me writing down everything from, imagine soldiers in the dirt, and there's tanks crossing the desert, and there's heat waves everywhere. Think about images like that. Boy, that really does help in the creation process. We got the approval to go ahead and hire the choir, which is really 4 voices, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, to cover all the parts that I wrote for this symphonic choir. And it was great to actually hear, once we got into the session, to hear the live voices.
I will always make submission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never.
So we get the score, we hand it out, and we have a pre-meeting beforehand, and we talk about things like pronunciation and timing. And we went back and forth with the engineer and laid down some fantastic vocal tracks, and we stacked it 4 times, and just to fill it out. I feel very, very blessed to be able to have this under my belt like this. This is a wonderful, wonderful project.
Once we had our song and our music in place, then we could start producing all the imagery for this piece. The tank shot is one of those where we can imagine it and we can get it all down on paper and begin to produce it, but there's certain things you just don't know that are going to happen when you're dealing with a vehicle that large that weighs, over 50,000 tons, and
you can't just make a phone call and say, hey, I need a tank. Not only we had to get permission from the unit that owned the tank, but I had to find a tank driver and a gunner. So all in all, it probably took 2 weeks worth of coordination to get that shot. One of my roles in this video was acquiring the necessary equipment that we needed to pull some of these shots off, such as the tank going through the mud hole.
We knew that we had to branch out. There wasn't a way that we could even inside the studio, replicate the scope of what the National Guard is and what they're doing around the world. So we had to hit the road.
Today we're out here at Muscatatuck Urban Training Center with the Indiana National Guard.
We're here scouting at Camp Shelby in Mississippi.
Hey, we're out getting ready to work with the North Carolina Army National Guard.